Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and txhsfb.com here. And today we're going to do something a little different for our listeners. We're diving into something important that goes beyond the gridiron. And we are pleased to be joined by Megan Moran. Megan Moran is the manager of the Tobacco, Asthma, and Cancer branch of the Texas Department of State Health Services. Megan, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, first, thank you for having me on today. It's a pleasure. I'm excited to talk about Vapes Down, which is our anti-vaping campaign that aims to educate young Texans on the dangers of vaping so that they never start or they're encouraged to quit vaping and focus on what really matters, whether it's football, academics, or just staying healthy. Also, we're especially excited to partner with Dave Campbell's Texas Football for an online voting challenge called the Loudest Student Section. And the goal of that challenge is to encourage students and get them engaged to pledge to save their breath for things that are more important to them, such as cheering on their favorite team, performing in a marching band, maybe, and even excelling both on and off the field.
You mentioned the Vape Down campaign. Can you just tell us a little bit more kind of about that and maybe how you feel like it ties to Texas high school football?
Sure. So basically the Vapes Down campaign, it's focused on ensuring that youth know that, vaping does have consequences to it. There are different types of chemicals involved in it. There's like over 31 chemicals, in fact. Things like formaldehyde, which can be used to preserve dead animals, hydrogen cyanide, which is found in pesticides, and it can even contain cancer-causing chemicals. So these devices aren't harmless, and it's definitely not just water vapor. Also, vapes have a high concentration of nicotine. For example, just one vape pod can contain as much nicotine as a pack of cigarettes, and that's pretty concerning for young people because nicotine can rewire the brain, causing issues like brain fog, depression, anxiety, and poor athletic performance. And so, we just want to make sure that everyone is aware that these effects can actually impact you both mentally and physically on the field.
Texas high school football, we talk about it all the time here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It's about community and kind of rallying together for something bigger. It kind of seems like this partnership then really makes perfect sense. How can students vote in this platform?
Yeah, so there are 60 high schools that are named as finalists, and you can check to see if your high school is on the list by voting and vote by visiting texasfootball.com and searching for Vapes Down. Voting will continue until August 31st, so go to texasfootball.com today and start voting.
You were talking a little bit about how the vapes are more than just fruity flavors and water vapor. We're talking about all the dangerous stuff that's in it. I've heard from some coaches that vaping is impacting athletic performance because of what vaping does to your lungs. Athletes will feel winded way faster than they used to. Can you talk a little bit more maybe about just like the impacts and the especially on athletes and with the vaping problem?
Yeah, absolutely. So vaping has a direct effect on your ability to perform both mentally and physically on and off the field. It can actually make it harder to focus in class and harder to perform, any athletic sports that you might be doing. For example, it can cause shortness of breath, coughing, chest pain, and it can even cause high blood pressure. And that's why we're asking students to save their breath for things that really matter to them, whether it's sports or otherwise.
Okay, so I think the message is clear for anyone who hasn't started vaping. Great job, great work, 5 stars. Don't start. But for people who have started vaping, this is your sign to quit, right? But how can our audience maybe find out more about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so students can visit vapesdown.com to test their knowledge about vaping. Some of the answers may surprise you. I'm still constantly surprised by what we continue to learn about vapes. Also, for anyone who is already vaping and needs help quitting, we know it's not easy, but it's definitely possible. And so, we're here to help where possible. Go to vapesdown.com and click ready to quit, and you can access peer support and get started on a quit plan and find resources to help you quit vaping for good.
Okay, so we also, we hear from a lot of coaches and teachers and parents, who are readers of ours and love what we do on the Texas high school football front. And we know how important it is to them to keep vaping out of schools, right? And so I guess my question would be like, what would you tell people like that, people who are trying to keep vaping out of schools?
Yeah, so that we've got plenty of resources available for teachers, coaches, and parents. You can visit the DSHS website at dshs.texas.gov and search vape resources for a toolkit of materials that includes printable quizzes, handouts, and communication guides that you can use both at home or in a school setting. It's about making sure that everyone in the community has the tools and resources they need to encourage young people to put vapes down. And the sooner that we can communicate the dangers of vaping, the greater chance we have at preventing young people from starting in the first place.
Okay, so for our students, head on over to vapesdown.com. For our coaches and educators and families, go to dshs.texas.gov and search vape resources for more information. Megan, before we let you go, is there anything else you want to add?
Just that we're excited to see the Texas high school football community step up and lead by example with the loudest student section voting challenge. It isn't just about bragging rights, it's also about making a positive change for you and your community. So let's keep cheering for our teams and leave the vapes behind.
Folks, don't forget to show your school spirit. Pledge to put vapes down by voting at texasfootball.com. Search vapes down. Let's save our breath for Friday night. She is Megan Moran. She is with the Texas Department of State Health Services. Megan, we so appreciate your time and look forward to talking soon.
Great, thank you.